Republican Devin Nunes is in a real lawsuit against a fictional cow and a fictional version of his mom. And it reached even higher levels of ridiculousness because they had their first hearing today. And in it, his legal counsel said that this fictional cow is as dangerous as a real gun.
This is real.
This is real. For those of you not familiar, he is in the lawsuit against this avatar, Devin Nunes' cow.
The account has been deactivated.
No, that one's still in. The one that's been deactivated is Devin Nunes' mom.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Account suspended for reasons we'll delve into later that are scrotally related.
Oh my God.
So to refresh on the lawsuit, according to the lawsuit, the Twitter parody accounts Devin Nunes' mom, not his mom, Devin Nunes' cow, possibly his cow, are involved in a quote, orchestrated defamation campaign of stunning breadth and scope, one that no human being should ever have to bear. Why bring bears into it? Wasn't the cow too much for you? And suffer in their whole life.
That's amazing.
It should be his or her whole life. Grammar yes.
So in a defamation lawsuit, first of all, the fact that he is filing and pursuing this defamation lawsuit against Twitter accounts amazes me. I just feel like most politicians and even people in the mainstream media, I mean, we did that story about Bret Stephens today, that conservative columnist who like had a meltdown over being called a bedbug. They live in this weird insular world where they're apparently shielded from the types of things that we deal with every day, which is like threats of real violence, like specific, like here is where you live. I am gonna send people to rape you and murder you. Like that is the kind of stuff. Now I've taken pretty drastic and expensive steps to like shield my address or whatever. But like, what would happen to Devin Nunes if he got even a little bit of that?
I'll tell you what happens. I've seen the Fresno Bee, Kate Irby did an amazing report for the Fresno Bee called like, here are the highlights from day one of the Devin Nunes cow hearing. And the Fresno Bee interviewed some people outside. Just so you know, you can buy t-shirts from this cow. And it just has a photo of the cow, and on the top it says #BeButter. Instead of be better, it says be butter because they just want accountability from Devin Nunes, who leaves his like northern central California district alone and goes off and tries to like win brownie points with the president and almost loses everything. But it's funny you say like, why is it? If they had to put everything, no, they think that it's a really dangerous situation. From the first hearing lawsuit, Nunes wants information on groups that disparage him on social media, according to Kate Irby. His attorney Stephen Biss argued, kiss my Biss. He argued that Twitter is responsible for posts from Republican strategist Liz Mayer and anonymous accounts. Biss, the lawyer, compared Twitter to a person negligently giving Mayer and the parody accounts a gun.
Yeah,
so they're comparing these Twitter accounts, allowing a cow to tweet and saying just like funny things.
Yep.
Like their avatar just says, I forget, it's hanging out on the dairy in Iowa looking for the little treasonous cowpoke. That's like their little bio. But this cow just tweeting is as dangerous as giving someone a gun. And then the other thing that they said.
So by the way, so Devin Nunes' lawyer acknowledges that giving people guns without the proper vetting is dangerous. That is the argument here, right?
That's exactly right.
And the lawyer is comparing that, which actually is dangerous and gets people killed, countless people killed in America, to Devin Nunes getting his feelings hurt over parody accounts.
It's amazing. He's suing for, do you remember how much it was?
I don't remember. How much was it?
$250 million.
Wow.
I mean, no one knows who the cow is. No one knows who Devin Nunes' mom is, but he is also targeting Liz Mayer, who's a Republican strategist. She's the only one who's actually been named, and Twitter apparently won't give them up. Here is the other bit. Was at the time of the lawsuit, what if you set fire, this is directly from the lawyer. What if you set a fire on your property? And I told you it was choking my baby, Biss asked. Judge Marshall as another metaphor, which prompted some stifled chuckles from cow supporters in the courtroom. You should have to put it out. They're saying not only is this parody account a gun, but it's also like setting a fire in someone's property and choking a baby.
It's amazing. So first of all, a few things about defamation lawsuits. And I know a lot about this because I should know, right? Like as someone who shares opinion all the time, there are people who get very hurt if they don't like what they hear and then they threaten you with defamation lawsuits. So you can't just, first of all, proving defamation is incredibly difficult as it is. It's even more difficult if you're trying to prove it, if you're like a public figure.
Right.
If you're a public figure and you're claiming defamation, it's even harder to prove it in that context because as a public figure, you don't have as much protections as private citizens.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, you can't just randomly choose a number out of a hat and say, this is what I'm gonna sue for. You have to prove damages. So that is why you're hearing the type of argument, overblown, exaggerated argument and the hyperbole from the lawyer, right? But like, how is Devin Nunes, like prove your monetary damages. You have to prove that the content that's being put out there about you is, first of all, you have to prove malice.
Yeah.
So there was malicious intent. You have to prove that as a result of that, your reputation was ruined and it hurt you in terms of your earnings, your monetary earnings. Like,
yeah, good luck on the 250 mil. Even if your baby was on fire, you wouldn't get 250 mil.
No.
There's a bunch of like Johnson & Johnson had to pay 500 mil for their opium problems, which has actually killed people, not this fake cow that's like saying funny things. Just to remind you the amplification that the lawsuit has done to these accounts. This is graphic 7. At the time of the lawsuit, Devin's cow only had 1,204 followers, but as news of the lawsuit broke, the account gained in popularity and is currently at 615,000 followers.
yes.
Comparatively, Nunes' account has 561,000 followers.
So that's referred to as the Streisand effect.
Yep.
And look, it's tough, like, because there have been instances, like for instance, there was a writer for Playboy who put out this, and it was slander. Like they slandered me as a genocide denier.
Right, I remember.
And I was upset because first of all, that is 100% false. I've obviously talked about it on the show several times. I've talked about it with Cenk several times on the show. And it was just like a right-wing attack by a writer who happens to be a conservative Armenian guy, right? So I was like, I'm tired of this. I want to fight back. And I sat down with Cenk and with other executives who were with us at that time. And they're like, look, you're not gonna win, right? Like, it's really hard to prove malice and you're gonna draw more attention to this. So we didn't pursue legally, even though I think we had a good case, but I did draw more attention to it anyway because I had to clear my name. Like I was tired of people like putting that out there and just, it was going unchallenged. It made me crazy.
Yeah.
So
you did that video for No Filter.
And it did well.
It did real well.
Yeah, it did.
It did well, good for you.
Thanks.
I do want to update some people about why Devin Nunes' mom might have been suspended. Again, not actually his mom, but don't tell Devin Nunes that or he can't sue. Graphic 9, according to the lawsuit, the now suspended Devin Nunes' mom account shared tweets alleging that Nunes had obstructed justice in his defense of President Donald Trump and that Nunes was too busy, quote, cradling the president's balls full time to take care of his constituents' concern. The account also shared a meme referencing the cult horror film, The Human Centipede.
Oh my God.
When you see it like that, like I'm sure, and then there's also like a bunch, there's a Tumblr affiliated with the cow. And when you go through, it's really graphic, but when you see like Newsweek, right? The account also shared a meme referencing the cult horror film, The Human Centipede. Just
I
puts it in a
know,
whole
with their
different
like
light.
professional, way of putting it.
I love this story. That's
I
my
love it
favorite
too.
story.
I love stories about the fragility of the right wing.
Yeah.
Right, and I've been confronted with that quite a bit lately.
Yeah, in the control room, I think it was Brandon who said it's working the refs. You know that, you watched that? You know what that means?
No.
So what you do if you're a coach in a basketball game or whatever, but basketball is what I grew up playing. So because I'm such an athlete, but you work the refs. Like the refs aren't calling it your way, but you try to get in the ref's mind. So whether they're treating your team poorly or not, you try to put psychological warfare on the referees so they'll call the game more your way. And you'll see it all the time. You'll see the coaches up in the ears of the refs just being like, you gotta watch it down in the block. He's giving my guy hell. Just watch it, just watch it. Or you yell and scream at them and you get them to give you a technical, but afterwards it works because now they feel bad that they penalized you and they will watch it. But like it is, and that's what the right does is they work the refs. They're like, and that especially with like the media, because the media is the refs. So they say the media is not treating me right. They're making me create safe spaces for everyone. And now you're focusing on whether you're doing safe spaces or not. You weren't doing that. You didn't even use the term safe spaces because it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just, you mean what, open discourse?
Yeah.
You know, being held responsible in like the marketplace of idea actually versus like telling people like, just let me be super racist? Is that what you're saying? You just want to be super racist. But no, I call it safe space. I'm working the refs. I'm trying to get them to focus on the game a certain way. It was a really good analysis.
And you know what? Unfortunately, for a really long time, and I think that the narrative is changing, they were great at working the refs. I mean, they dominated that conversation. That was all I would ever hear on Joe Rogan's podcast for a while. And it was frustrating because I'm like, I get it. Some people on the left are sensitive, but it's not like some virus that affects all of us. Like a lot of us are open and willing to have these difficult conversations. I mean, look at how many people on the left wanted to do debates at Politicon last year and are pushing to do more debates this year, right? And like Candace Owens ran away from Kyle Kulinski, right? Ben Shapiro would not debate me. I mean, I couldn't find anyone to debate. And this year, we're doing everything we can, and we already asked Candace Owens. I don't know what the answer is yet, but like there's no problem in engaging in these conversations and these debates. It's just that they get upset when it's not on their terms, and the terms that they want is, I want to give a speech on a college campus. I want to get paid $40,000 to $50,000 for that speech, and I don't want any protesters there. If there's a single protester, I am the victim.
It's great work if you can get it, man.
Yeah.
I like that Candace, when it comes to debates, Candace Owens' record is her last name. 0 wins. Wins.
That's true.
Take that. Debate me.
Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.